Today, we're making sure that you're not scared of buying Bitcoin. Thanks to the previous few videos that I've posted, you guys have asked a lot of questions in regards to cryptocurrency. So I thought I'm going to address all of the issues that you've had with purchasing Bitcoin and why you should buy it and is it safe to buy in this video. I'm going to go through the questions one by one, and if there's anything that I don't answer, please drop it down in the comments below and I'll answer it in an upcoming video. So the first question that I get asked a lot is PayPal or GBTC a good place or good way to buy Bitcoin? Well, yes and no. Thanks to the PayPal news recently, it's become very easy for people to get exposure to cryptocurrency or Bitcoin and Ethereum, but it doesn't mean that you're actually owning that crypto. So if you buy Bitcoin through PayPal, you don't actually own the keys or own that Bitcoin. You're simply paying PayPal and giving them custody over your cryptocurrency. So there's a phrase that goes around the internet quite often is not your keys, not your crypto. So if you're purchasing crypto and you don't actually own it or hold it yourself, that means you're entrusting somebody else with holding your money. Now, this is okay. Most exchanges and places that you can buy cryptocurrency are quite safe, but often things can happen that are completely out of your control and you have no access to your cryptocurrency. For example, a few exchanges recently and over the years have paused or frozen withdrawals for a certain period of time because they're dealing with some issues, and this can be quite frustrating. It means you can't move your money, you can't withdraw it, and there's a lot of uncertainty around it, meaning you don't actually know if you're going to get your cryptocurrency back. Whereas if you hold your cryptocurrency yourself and you keep it safe in your own secure wallet, you have access to it and you can do with it what you want. You can move it around, you can send it to friends, you can transfer it between your own wallets, but you can't sell it or you can't exchange it for regular fiat or real world money if you would like. That is left to the exchanges. That is the only disadvantage right now, is that you have to rely on exchanges if you want to cash out. But as we all know, if you're getting into cryptocurrency, you're getting in it for good. So the best thing to do is hold. And that takes us into the second question, which is, how do I know if I'm going to make money by buying Bitcoin? Is it safe? Is this a good time to buy? Well, if we look historically, Bitcoin has been profitable for 99.7% of all days since May 2013. That is just an insane stat to think about, that you could have literally bought Bitcoin at pretty much any time in history and you would be profitable right now. I think the average, if you averaged the gain of Bitcoin out over the years, it's over 100% gain every single year, which makes it one of the best performing assets on earth. So not financial advice, but buying Bitcoin is probably one of the best ideas that you could have, or one of the best things that you can do. And that is why I personally invest in Bitcoin and a variety of different cryptocurrencies, although I do use Bitcoin mostly as a store of value. Now, what do I mean by store of value? Well, a few people asked, what is the point of Bitcoin? Why should I buy it? What is it used for? Well, Bitcoin actually failed at what it was designed to do. It was designed to be a transactional currency, a digital currency, cryptocurrency. But instead, what it has become is a store of value, like digital gold. For example, no one actually trades gold as a regular currency. It simply holds value in order to secure wealth for a long period of time. And that's essentially what Bitcoin has become, because it has a limited supply. So currently there's around 18 or so million Bitcoin in circulation that has been mined. In total, there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin, and probably a lot less than that, because there's around 3 to 4 million Bitcoin that is supposedly lost forever, that has been burnt or destroyed by accident. People have lost their keys to their wallets. So in actual fact, the supply of Bitcoin is a lot less than that. And once we reach that hard cap of 21 million, we will never have more Bitcoin. That is the actual absolute finite supply. Whereas gold, for example, even though it's something in the real world, when we start running low on gold supply, we can mine some more. Eventually we will run out, but that's going to take a lot longer than running out of Bitcoin. So once that happens, once Bitcoin can no longer be mined and it's not profitable to mine Bitcoin anymore, the value of Bitcoin is simply going to skyrocket because it becomes such a scarce resource. The only thing giving value to Bitcoin right now is speculation. It's the idea that Bitcoin should have value, people investing their money into Bitcoin and giving it value. Like I said, as a transactional currency, Bitcoin is actually very slow when you compare it to other cryptocurrencies. So using it simply as a store of value is probably what it's going to be used for in the future. And there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't actually have to function. It doesn't actually have to do anything. I've had a lot of people ask me, what does Bitcoin do? Why do I need it? Well, you don't actually need it. You're simply buying it to store value, to ensure that you have money in the future to use and pass on. The power of crypto comes into play with the network effect. The fact that everybody else is using it or investing in it gives it value. For example, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, There have been many social networks that have come and gone after these platforms have been created. But why have they died out? Well, nobody uses them. If you go and create a clone of Facebook right now, or a clone of some social network, it's actually very easy to do that. It's not going to succeed purely because there's no adoption. No one's actually using it. If you're the only one sitting on your new social network, it's not a social network. You have no one to talk to and no one to connect to. Facebook and these social networks have become such powerhouses, such monsters, and have such a monopoly right now that no one else can enter the space. And that's kind of like what's happening with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the OG that everyone's invested in and that everybody knows about. So it sort of has the snowball effect that bulldozes anything else that's in its way that tries to replace it. Sure, eventually something will come along that is better than Bitcoin. I mean, there's tons of cryptos right now that are technically, on a technical level, better than Bitcoin, but they don't have the same power or ideology behind them that just simply powers value into them. So I've also been asked, if Bitcoin is so valuable, how do you keep it safe? How do you make sure that no one steals your Bitcoin if it's worth so much money? Well, the general rule of thumb is to keep your crypto safe in a hardware wallet, something that is offline. Like I said before, you can purchase cryptocurrency on things like exchanges or on PayPal, or invest in trusts like BTC. But the thing with buying from exchanges or PayPal, for example, you have no access to your Bitcoin. You can't transfer it off of PayPal or send it to anyone else because you're simply buying an asset-backed Bitcoin. So you're buying Bitcoin with the idea that PayPal can back that Bitcoin with real Bitcoin, but you have no access to it. Whereas buying from an exchange like Binance or Crypto.com or Kraken, there's tons of these. I've spoken about this in previous videos. You're actually buying the real Bitcoin, meaning you can move it around, you can exchange it, you can withdraw it to your own wallets, like on MetaMask or hardware wallets, something like this. This is a Ledger wallet, one of the best in the industry. I highly recommend getting one of these. I've spoken about this before. I will be doing a full video on how to use these or what they are. Only buy from the official Ledger website. It will come from Paris. You don't want to buy from anywhere else because they can be hacked or manipulated. You don't know where you're buying from. Never buy a used Ledger. So if you do end up buying cryptocurrency from an exchange, I wouldn't suggest leaving more than around $5,000 on that exchange, or more than you're willing to lose at any one time. If you want to sell your crypto, sell your Bitcoin, you can always transfer it back from your Ledger or hardware wallet to an exchange and then sell it. But I'd recommend definitely getting that crypto off of that exchange and holding it securely yourself. What happens if you lose your Ledger or it gets stolen or it breaks? Well, all it is simply a key. Think of it as a key. You don't actually hold your Bitcoin or cryptocurrency on this. That's not how crypto works. It's based on the blockchain. So your cryptocurrency is actually in the internet, in the network. All this is doing is it's giving you access to that wallet on the network. The advantage with a hardware wallet though is that the private key, or the key that is used to access that wallet, is stored on this. It's stored offline. So even if someone hacks your computer or gets access to your MetaMask or anything like that, they can't actually do anything with your cryptocurrency unless this is plugged in and secured. Now, you can recover this if it does get broken or lost, or you drop it in your grandmother's garden and her chickens eat it. You get a set of 24 recovery words that are generated when you create a new wallet using this thing or MetaMask. And as long as you have that set of 24 words, you can recover your wallet anywhere in the world using any other wallet. So you will be able to recover your funds. Don't worry about that. Just make certain that you do not lose that recovery phrase. Because if you do that, you have no access to your money and there's no way of recovering it. It's gone forever. And that's what I was speaking about earlier when they say there's around 3 to 4 million Bitcoin that is probably gone forever, that no one has access to, or people have died and left their wallets behind. So with great power comes great responsibility. So if you do want to be in control of your own money, if you do want to be your own bank, it is your responsibility to make sure that you look after that stuff, right? I personally completely take responsibility for my own money. Obviously, it's a lot easier to simply buy Bitcoin on an exchange and leave it there, but then you're entrusting somebody else, somebody that you don't know, with your money anyway. So the best idea is to simply buy it on an exchange and then withdraw it to an external hardware wallet. Another question I get asked a lot is, what is DeFi? Or what does it stand for and what does it mean? Well, DeFi is decentralized finance. So think about all the financial products that are available in the real world through the traditional financial system, like certificate of deposit savings accounts, interest-bearing accounts, loans, mortgages, and so on. These things are all going to become available on the blockchain through cryptocurrency, and they slowly are becoming more and more widely available. The thing is that it makes a lot more sense for these products to be available through cryptocurrency simply because the fees are so much lower. There's fewer hoops to jump through to get these things done. For example, if you want to get a loan to purchase a house, you have to ask the bank and you have to trust the bank that they're going to be able to give you that loan, and they're going to have to trust you to pay that loan back. Now, there's a human element in there that introduces risk into that equation. Maybe your family or you know somebody at the bank that is able to entrust that person and let them give you that loan, which is sort of unfair to a lot of people. Whereas the thing with Bitcoin or the thing with cryptocurrency is that if you're trying to get a loan on the blockchain, it simply comes down to a vote. You can propose to the network that you want a loan. The network can then decide whether or not they want to give you a loan as a consensus vote. And then it's not up to a single person deciding your fate as to whether or not you can purchase a house or take out a loan. Cryptocurrency and the blockchain is based on a trustless network, a trustless system, meaning that I don't have to trust that you're going to pay me back, and you don't have to trust that you're going to get from me what I promised. Cryptocurrency solves a lot of the problems that are very prominent in the traditional financial world, and all it takes is a little more adoption for it to be completely mainstream. Think of the traditional broadcast media world and YouTube, right? The traditional broadcast world, there are a lot of hoops to jump through. You have to ask a lot of people, is this possible? Can we do this? Is it okay if we do this? And it has to go through votes and many rounds of meetings, and things have to get approved, then they can go live. Whereas if you have access to a camera and an internet connection, you can start a YouTube channel and start sharing your ideas with the world. No one asks you any questions. No one has to approve what you have to say. No one has to do anything like that. And I feel like that is the world, the free economy of media, the same as we're getting to the free economy of money. So cryptocurrency is definitely going to change the world. It has already changed the world and continues to do so. So if you don't own any Bitcoin yet, I do highly recommend buying some. Obviously, that's not financial advice, but personally, I am invested in Bitcoin and a variety of other cryptocurrencies. So if you want to hear about those and see what I'm invested in and why I'm doing that, you can subscribe to my Patreon down below, or you can subscribe to this channel, and I will be posting those videos on here as well. So if you guys like the video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Comment down below if there's any question that I didn't answer that you had, and I'll make a follow-up video. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.